Next question is the importance of insulin while cutting, so for fat loss. So I actually went to a seminar with Alan Aragon early last year, and he showed us a study that was done on spiking insulin post-workout. So the anabolic window, which most people are led to believe, try and get your protein and fast-acting carbs in within 30 minutes or whatever. The anabolic window, if you don't get it in, then the workout's a waste. That's just a complete myth, guys. The study that Alan showed us actually showed that the difference in your insulin spike from one subject just having whey protein and the other one having whey protein along with high glycemic carbs, along with also low GI carbs as well. The insulin spike was no different between just protein or protein and carbs. And to say that if you don't get your protein in or you don't get your carbs in within 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever it is, and you're not going to get the results, that's nonsense, guys. You don't need to go about that. But obviously some people are more sensitive to carbs than others, and they don't respond as well. You just need to find what works for you. But if this question refers to the anabolic window or worrying about getting in high GI carbs post-workout, then it's really irrelevant. You have your carb intake for the day, your protein, your fats. You want to hit your fiber intake for the day. The main thing, guys, is to make sure you're hitting those targets consistently, whether you're in a deficit or a surplus. All this meal timing, carb timing, and all that stuff, it's really minute details, and it's not going to make too much of a difference. If you want to make progress, stick to the basics. Hit your macros, hit your calories, eat in a deficit or a surplus depending on your goals, and you will progress. Next question is best way to stay motivated when working out at home. So you're not a member of a gym, you're just training at home. And to be honest, guys, motivation is a hard one. It does come and go for some people, including myself. There are days and times where my motivation is huge, and there are other times where the motivation's not as big, and that's just going to happen. That's just how we are. If you're passionate about something, then your motivation will be higher more often. That's likely. But I think ways of keeping motivated while training at home, especially if you're training by yourself, set goals, set small goals. Weekly goals for each session, long-term goals. A session goal may be something as simple as, last session I did 3 sets of 15 on push-ups. Today I want to be able to do 3 sets of 16, or 2 sets of 15 and 1 set of 16, whatever it may be. Just have small goals to keep you accountable and looking forward to the workout, and knowing that you need to hit a goal or improve from the last one. Weekly goals might be something, if you're cutting and you are working out at home and you're wanting to lean up or whatever it is, might set a target weight week to week, or even for the end of the month. Or you might say to yourself, all right, at the end of the month I want to have done 20 workouts. 4 weeks, that's 5 workouts a week. And really stick to that goal. Stick it up on your fridge, stick it up in the bathroom, behind the toilet door, have it in your diary, have it in your phone. Have that goal somewhere where you're going to see it every day. And regardless of whether that's to lose weight, whether that's to improve on a session, whether it's eat better, whether it's just to even train, the more you can see that goal, the more you're going to be thinking about it, the more likely you're going to do it. Other ways to stay motivated is to invite people to come and train with you. Have a training partner. I've always found, you're much more accountable when someone's relying on you to train with them. You're much more competitive when you're training against someone else. When I say against someone, obviously it isn't a competition, but if you're training with a mate and they go and pump out 10 chin-ups, you're more than likely not going to stop at 3 or 4 if that's what you would usually do in a session, just because you start to feel tired. You're going to want to push and try and get close to their 10 push-ups or 10 pull-ups, or even do more. That's just an example, but I think ways to stay motivated for training at home, back to the original question, is just set goals, set small goals, long-term goals, short-term goals, and find a training partner. Okay, next question I get very often: what is the best rep range for building muscle, and what is the best rep range for losing fat? So a common myth that most of you guys would have heard is, high reps, light weight will get you toned. Whatever toned means, I don't know what it actually means. You can't tone a muscle, you can just build muscle and get lean. That's what creates that definition. And what's the best rep range to build muscle? And there is no magical rep range that's going to work for anyone and everyone. You know, there's obviously guidelines, so strength training tends to be kind of 6 reps or below. You know, you want two-thirds of your training for that session and for the week to be kind of 6 reps or below for trying to build strength or power. Something like hypertrophy, you know, it's proven that anything kind of 6 to 8 above, all the way up to around 15 reps. Obviously, reps higher than that can be incorporated, but the most effective way to build muscle and hypertrophy the muscle, I think that's the way the sentence should be said, is in that 8 to 12 rep range. So that's not to say that there is a magic number. You know, doing 3 sets of 10 every session is not the best way to build muscle. The best way to build muscle is to lift in the rep range that I've mentioned. So, you know, anywhere from 6 to 15 reps. And there's definitely time and place for lower reps, higher reps. Like I said, if your goal is for strength, then try and aim to have most of your reps for the workout kind of 6 or below. If your goal is hypertrophy, have 2/3 of your reps kind of 6 to 8 reps to 15 reps in that rep range, and progressively overload over time. I can't emphasize enough how important progressively overloading over time is. It's more important than any certain rep range or any certain exercise. As long as you are progressing in either weight, reps, sets, or even just, you know, the RPE, the effort level you have to put into to complete a set, then you will grow. If you're eating in a calorie surplus, if you're trying to cut, then, you know, your main priority should be to maintain as much muscle mass as possible. So that's going to involve trying to maintain your strength. You know, if all of a sudden if one day you're doing 5 sets of 5 on squats at 120 kilos, and then you start your cut and all of a sudden you start doing, you know, 4 sets of 15 on 60 or 70 kilos, why would your muscles stay the size they are if they don't need to be, you know, to lift that load? So your aim should be to keep your training the same. Your nutrition, you know, you may need to throw in some cardio, but that's the thing. Being in a deficit is what's going to create that, you know, that shredded, defined look, and that's what's going to lose the weight. Not lifting in, you know, a high absurd rep range in the hope that it's going to tone a muscle. As I mentioned, you can't tone a muscle, guys. You need to build a muscle. You need to build the muscle mass and then reduce your body fat by eating in a calorie deficit, maintaining that muscle mass, and that's what's going to give you the definition. Next one, what app do I use to track my calories and my macros? I use MyFitnessPal. I think that's a relatively common app for most people that count macros and their calories. There are a number of other ones. MyFitnessPal was just the first one that I tried, and I like it, so I've stuck with it. Guys, it's really easy to use. There is a premium version, but, you know, I just stick to the normal version. I don't even to be honest, I don't even put my macro goals in the app. I just know my goals. I know what amount of protein, carbs, and fat I need to get for the day, and I keep track of it. Most of the time, I'll plan my meals at the start of the day and just look at the running totals. You know, just because the app says you need to get this much doesn't mean that you can't just stick to a certain amount. You know, it's still going to have your goal, your totals for the day. Hit your numbers, guys. It's a great app. There are a number of other ones, but like I said, the one I use is MyFitnessPal. Can I build muscle and burn fat at the same time? You would not believe how many emails I get from people and questionnaires I get back for online clients. You know, and their goal is, I want to put on some size and get shredded, or, you know, I want to really drop my body fat, put on a heap of muscle. And guys, to be honest, and as I mentioned in a previous question, unless you're just starting out, you're a newbie. Can't even speak English yet. If you're a newbie, or whether you've had that muscle mass before and you've had a long time away from training and you're coming back, or unless you're pharmaceutically enhanced, you aren't going to be able to build muscle and burn fat at the same time. Like I said, very rare exceptions, but to build muscle you need to eat in a slight calorie surplus. I suggest anywhere from 300 to 500 calories above your maintenance. You need to build that muscle mass first. Especially for young people, I get so many people coming to me asking me to help them get shredded, and they're like 16, 17 years old. That's your prime age, you know, 15 all the way through to 22, 23, 24, 25, like mid-20s. is prime age to be building muscle, you know, building on your physique, so later on you can show off all that hard work and you can show a physique that you're proud of. If you're in your teens or early 20s and you're constantly cutting, you're not building muscle, you're not building on your physique. So get your priorities right, guys, and try and build that muscle early on. And then once that muscle mass is there, that's when you can start to cut down by eating in a deficit, by burning more energy than you're taking in, and show off that physique that you've worked so hard for. Last question, guys, of the video. I know it's already been a fairly long one, but the last question is, I have lower back pain. Is there any way that I can improve lower back pain without going to a chiropractor or a myotherapist? So I've actually experienced a fair bit of lower back pain myself. And you know, I worked with Christian Woodford last year, which was a massive eye-opener for me, and he taught me so much. And one thing that I've really noticed, and he kind of taught me even with all of my clients, and it made sense for my own self as well, is that 95, I would say even closer to 99% of people have tight hip flexors from sitting down. So I'm sitting down right now, my hip flexors are getting tight from sitting down, and that glutes become underactive. So as soon as you get tight through the hips, your pelvis starts to pull forward. So hip flexors are tight, pulls the pelvis forward. From that point on, your hamstrings are constantly on stretch. So you hear people complaining of tight hamstrings, they stretch them, make them even more overstretched because they're already overstretched from anterior pelvic tilt. That's why hamstring injuries are so common in sport, because people have underactive glutes, so their glutes aren't firing when they're running. They're using their lower back, their hamstrings, and their quads. They're too quad dominant. And their hips are tight, so you know they go to take off and their hamstring's already tight, but before the game they've been stretching their hamstring, and then bang, all of a sudden they've just pulled a hammy, and that's because they're tight through the hips. So before you go and see a chiropractor or a myotherapist or a back specialist, I would advise you look up a number of mobility and myofascial release exercises for your hip flexors, your TFL, all around the anterior part of your hips, and start activating your glutes. You know, things like glute bridges, clamshells, strengthening your glutes through exercises like Romanian deadlifts, squats, again, glute bridges, a number of different exercises. So strengthen up that posterior chain, work it as a unit, so your hamstrings, your glutes, start getting them firing, release your hip flexors, get that pelvis back into a neutral position where it needs to be, and I can almost guarantee you that your back pain will start to go away, unless it is a problem, you know, a disc problem or something a little bit more serious. Obviously then you're going to need to go and see someone. So try that out, guys. Let me know how you go. That's all the questions for today. I will be doing another one of these videos, so if you have any more questions, please feel free to email me, comment in the comment section below. Before I go, I just wanted to remind you guys that by signing up to my mailing list on www.dannykennedyfitness.com, I'll put that just here, you can receive my ebook, Beginner's Guide to Flexible Dieting, for free. So if you haven't already, please sign up, have a read through it, guys. I want to help as many people as I can. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and I'll see you guys in the next video.